Sorry about you. Is Mr. Watson available?
I don't know. I can go ahead and see.
Okay,
What is your name?
my name's Aaron.
What is it?
Aaron.
Aaron?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what is it in regards to?
I just had some questions about IPRA.
IPRA? Okay. Hang on.
I'm great.
I had some questions regarding the IPRA requests that I've been submitting.
Correct.
First of all, the one that I did on December 17th was for just some audio and the video of the bus cam. It took more than a month
Okay.
to receive that. Why would it take a month to get the bus cam footage from that?
It takes us time to acquire the footage, to review it, and redact it, if necessary.
Okay. But it was all in the bus. I mean, nothing would have been redacted. Everything was in public.
We still need to review it. I mean, we don't know what's in the video until we watch it.
Right, because I noticed when the bus driver was underneath the camera, he pulled his phone out and was going to dial somebody, and then that was when the
What?
I'm sorry. When the bus driver was in the bus and he pulled out his phone, that's when the video stopped, because he was going to use his phone, and you could see it from the camera. Was that part of the reason why it was redacted?
So I don't know the specifics of
Okay.
the request. So
Okay.
we get 1,100 to 1,400 requests a month. If
Okay.
you want me to look into it, I'm happy to do that.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. And then I did submit two requests, one at Albuquerque, Maine Library, and one at Albuquerque Community Safety Department on San Mateo.
Right.
And I was doing it purposely to check and see if they have custodians of records at those places, and they didn't.
Correct. That's correct. They do not. I'm the custodian of records.
How is that possible when the city ordinance and IPRA say completely different?
So I'm the custodian of record for all city entities. Like to the extent you submit a records request to a city department or a city division, like that's going to be sent to me and I'm going to fulfill it on behalf of the city. The departments do have people who help us with requests, but those individuals do not handle requests directly to the city public.
Right. I was just curious because it's very specific in the Attorney General Guide in the IPRA law that each public body, each public body, should be like every branch of the library, for instance, should have a custodian of records, and they should have up that IPRA notice per section 7E. And nobody does that. And including, I went to the city council, and that one specifically delineated in the city ordinance that the city council is supposed to have their own custodian of records. And they kept saying, well, just go to Mr. Watson, go to...
Correct. They're not, the city council and city departments are not distinct entities from the city.
Despite what the law says.
That's the law. City departments are not distinct public bodies under IPRA.
But each public body.
Right.
The city is not one public body, though.
It is one public body.
So the library is
Not a public body.
The library is not a public body. City council is not a public body.
No.
Human services here at City Hall.
They are part of the city, and the city is the public body.
But each public body, I don't understand, why, because, for instance, like I said, I went to Rio Rancho, and the city clerk she said, oh, yeah, and every public body should have one, and the custodian of records, and this is how it works, and this is what the IPRA training that I've done. Nobody in the city seems to know what the acronym IPRA means. And it's just like every public worker in the city is supposed to know their obligations under IPRA, that everything they do is a public record. I just don't understand why it's so difficult. First of all, those requests that I did at Albuquerque, Maine, and at Albuquerque Community Safety, those got, I recorded when I submitted them, those got either lost or destroyed by whoever took them.
So we received one, I don't know about the Albuquerque Community Safety one. We received one from you from the library, which we entered into next request under the A. Cummings or the crowscoyote email address,
Mm-hmm.
and we responded to it. And this is the reason I guess I would really ask you to submit the request online to us, because if you want records from any entity within that is a City of Albuquerque entity, we would respond to that on behalf of that entity.
But it would seem like when I went, because I had specific things that I wanted directly from Albuquerque Community Safety, stuff that they would be able to handle themselves, plus the IPRA stuff that I was just checking on. And they said, I mean, like, I don't understand how every public body in the city is only, all the public records are you. Like, what, how does that?
Well, they're sorry, like the.
I mean, because when I submitted the one at Maine and the one at ACS, those are on the January 24th. The ones you got from me from Maine was this month. The ones I submitted on January 24th were either lost or destroyed. I recorded when I submitted them. The problem is that each of those entities are supposed to have a custodian of public records that answers to you, that if I submitted the records, they would have known exactly how to handle it and submit it to the right person. That's why I'm checking at all the public bodies in the city.
Well, and I guess, sorry, you keep saying each public body within the city. There is only, the city is a public body. Components of the city are not separate public bodies.
That's different than what the law says.
That I don't think it is. I mean,
It's different than what the city ordinance says.
But and again, we do really want to fulfill your request, but when you submit them to all the different places around the city, it actually delays processing. So if you could submit them to us, we can really work to fulfill them as quickly as we can. But
Right.
when you're submitting them at some agency within the city, it takes time to get here.
And it's a public agency in the city. It's a public body.
It's not a public body.
Why do you keep gaslighting me like this? It is a every single one of these places, every library branch, every community center, city council specifically is mentioned in the city ordinance. All the departments, all the agencies, divisions, the stuff downstairs in the basement with the building maintenance, all these guys are supposed to be up on IPRA. If I wanted their records about their, I don't know, maintenance or whatever, there's supposed to be somebody at each public body that does this. I don't understand why Albuquerque is exempt.
Well, we are a much larger city than most, and so we do spend a lot of time working with all of the different parts of the city, but it's not right. Like, we have one custodian because we get so many IPRA requests, and so...
Well, that's why it seems like the centralization seems like it might be a problem. I mean, if there's only one person in the entire city that's in charge of the records, that's, especially when there are, I mean, I don't... with the city council, I just thought that was interesting because, I don't know, for whatever reason, they may not want, I don't know, but I just don't understand why you keep telling me what's different than what I read in the law and what I read in the Attorney General's guide.
So, I guess I just disagree with how you're reading the law.
I keep sending them to you.
I know. And I read it differently.
And you contradict them every time.
I don't.
The library is a public body, especially Maine Library.
It's a part of the city.
Department of Arts and Culture is a department, a separate public body in the city that controls the libraries and all this stuff. And they called security on me when I asked about IPRA. What's up with that? I was just asking. I mean, it's really frustrating because like I said, that one record I got, that was the whole instigation for everything. I just wanted bus cam footage. It took more than a month to get it. And in the meantime, because of what you had said, I said, no, that doesn't jive with what the law says. So I checked around, and no place in Albuquerque seems to be complying with that. Whereas I live near Rio Rancho, and I checked there, and they seem to be. So I don't understand why Albuquerque is different.
Well, we really want to fulfill your request as quickly as possible. And the way to ensure that would be for you to submit your request directly to us so that we can reach out to the departments and gather records. And so we are a much larger city than Rio Rancho, and so that we decentralize it here. We have a lot of staff working on IPRA requests, and we really would ask that you send the request directly to us so that we can work on them as quickly as possible. You have our email address. You've also, I think, used Next Request once or twice. And we really do want to fulfill your request as quickly as possible, but when you submit them in just random places around the city, it does delay the process.
Well, see, part of the reason what I'm doing is I don't know if you notice, but when I'm going at the library, I'm asking for very basic things. Basically, their name and email of their custodian of records, and a picture of that notice that's supposed to be up on the wall. That's all I'm asking for. And basically, if I went in and they were compliant with it, I wouldn't even have asked. I would have just said, "Hey, do you guys have that IPRA notice? There it is." Oh, like here. And I would have said, "Oh, cool. Who's the custodian of records?" That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I got in Rio Rancho. Why don't I? Why doesn't it?
So, again, we really want to complete your request as quickly as possible. The answer is always going to be the clerk's office. And so I don't know that, I mean, if you're looking for the custodian's records, that's always going to be the clerk's office, and we'd ask that you submit the request here. Because of how many city entities there are, and how many different city buildings there are, it's just not as practical for us to place the notice in every place, and so we don't. You know, the Attorney General's guide is really just a guide, and the law requires the public body to place the notice in a specific place of business, and we do that.
It says each public body.
What?
It says each public body.
Correct.
And the city of Albuquerque there's more than one in the city.
There is not.
I really feel like you're gaslighting me, man. Okay, I guess that's all the questions I had. Just running nowhere.
Well, we appreciate you coming by, Mr. Cummings. We really do. If you could submit your request directly to us, it will really expedite processing. We really are trying to complete the request as quickly as possible. But when you go to different places that, there is potential for delays there, and so please submit them to us.
Okay.